Good evening, good evening. How you all are doing? This is Mr. Peyton Moore of 66 Books of Truth Ministry. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. It's a beautiful day outside. I decided to shoot the video outside today. We're going to be starting on a new series called Sexual Integrity by Ed Cole. And I highly recommend it, men, that you study this, read this, and apply it to your life. Go back and just think about some things that you may have got off track about. And now today you're really thinking about it seriously. Let's clear it up today. This series is wonderful. It's called Sexual Integrity. And I hope you all enjoy it and use this and just talk to, as I say, your brother. Talk to the brothers at the church, the young men and old men. Talk to your co-worker, next door neighbor, best friend about it. Just share the word of God. So today it's talking about guy meets girl. How many of us guys have met girls, especially in your teenage years? It's talking about today a young man by the name of Keith. He was at a youth meeting and there was a speaker speaking about the value of virginity. The value of virginity. Let's think about that. Virginity holds a lot of value. Society says it doesn't, but it does. They go for male and female. So Keith was there and he was kind of half listening, kind of half not, but something caught his attention. The value of virginity. Wow, popped in his head. Because I can guarantee you, Keith's parents had this discussion about the value of virginity and having sex before marriage, which is called fornication, right? Okay, we got that. So the statement that the speaker spoke was his virginity was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and it was up to him to know when to hang on to it and when to let it go or when to give it away. God gave us free will. Think about that. So that stuck with Keith. It got his attention. Virginity was a once-in-a-lifetime deal. Now, fleshly, virginity, when it's gone, it's gone. But spiritually, God can repair that. He can renew that. Okay? Ask for forgiveness. God will forgive you. Now, Keith was this young 14-year-old young man who had plenty of girls attracted to him. There were girls calling his house, but his mother did not like that because she knew that it's always something to come behind that. Keith could have made a choice to be like his other male friends, to go out and mingle around and have sex at a very young age, but he didn't. Keith had a vision. He had something in his heart that he wanted to do, and that was to meet the most beautiful woman in the world. Prince had a song, The Most Beautiful Girl in the World. Keith wanted to meet the most beautiful woman in the world. So Keith was saving himself for a special day. He was saving his virginity for the most beautiful woman in the world. Keith had also visualized his wedding day, where he was going to be in a white tuxedo from head to toe, and she was going to be in her white dress. So finally, after that meeting, Keith kept that dream going alive, and for the next 2 years, Keith held on to that. And you know, he only thing that he probably thought about was a change of where he was going to have his honeymoon or something like that. But he stuck with that white tuxedo and that white beautiful dress for his bride, because he wanted to meet the most beautiful girl in the world. Now, during his junior high school days, Keith did run around and meet the most beautiful girls that was at the school where he was, and just like every twice a week he would meet a girl, one named Lenny and one named Tracy and one named Shauna, and there was a lot of temptation surrounding Keith. But Keith, when he go to church on Sunday, he always kept on visualizing him standing there watching his beautiful bride come down that aisle in that beautiful white dress, and himself, you know, in that white tuxedo. He never gave up on that dream. Now, with all these beautiful girls that Keith was meeting, he stuck to his word and said no to temptation, because there was probably plenty of opportunities that he could have ran right off into temptation, had sex before marriage, and that is called fornication, right? Okay, so Keith graduated high school and he finished junior college, and during junior college, he did meet this girl named Jennifer. Okay, and as they were dating and talking, he come to find out that she was a virgin. Now, Keith said he has met the most beautiful woman in the world. They started talking, they started dating. By that spring, they got engaged. Once they got engaged, they started, planning the wedding. They started talking to their parents. Okay, Keith spoke to his parents. Okay, now it came time for Keith to speak to her mother. I don't hear anything about her father, but her mother. Okay, so they start to explain, start wedding planning with her mother and everything. And what caught her attention is that when Keith said he was going to be wearing a white tuxedo, she was shocked. And she kind of was like, no, 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 no. Only the bride wear white, not the groom. The groom wear dark, the bride wear white. But guess what? Keith was not backing down. He was going to wear his white tuxedo. His groomsmen was going to have on dark tuxedos. The bridesmaids was going to have on their colorful dresses. But him and his soon-to-be wife was going to have on white. He stuck to that. He didn't back down. He had conversation with her. She didn't like it. She even addressed and said that, if she got to pay for the wedding, you're going to wear a dark tuxedo. He said no. He stuck to his word. Do that. Do that, Keith. Stick to your word. That's your bride, your wedding, your day, her day, and nobody can change that. So, she was kind of stuck in tradition. So as time went on, they talked, and she kind of started to give in a little bit after Keith's father had mailed a picture to her showing her their wedding. So Keith's father and mother both had on white, okay? And I guess that kind of caught her attention. Well, his father had on a white tuxedo, his mother had on a white bride dress, everybody else was dressed according to, okay. She didn't realize that Keith was a virgin until he started explaining to her he was saving himself for the most beautiful woman in the world, in which was her daughter, Jennifer. Okay, so things started to lighten up. Keith talked privately. Now she realized that this young man has been raised with discipline, respect toward young ladies. He had respect for himself. First of all, he had respect for God, himself, and the young lady that he was about to marry. Now, things are starting to ball. Things are starting to roll. The energy is starting to change. Things are starting to shift. Now, she was proud of that because she seen the picture of Keith's father, his mother, their groomsmen and bridesmaid, and their parents standing on each side of them from both sides, proud of their son and daughter and the way they carried themselves. Okay, Ed Cole said it was a time, and during his time of life, he used to receive hundreds and hundreds of letters from people who have had sex before marriage or either had affairs during their marriage, and it's very painful. That's something hard to go through. And what Keith and Jennifer was trying to do is set an example as young people, or to say many men and women are making the right decision, just like Keith and Jennifer, to keep themselves sexually pure until the day of their wedding, till the day of their marriage. Now, you don't hear about that too much. All we see is a bunch of young people coming together, living together. You don't hear nothing about marriage, and they just living together, living in fornication, living in sin. To be transparent, I was one of those. That's the way I started off, in fornication, before marriage. Had a child out of wedlock, okay? So I just like to be transparent. It goes on to talk about the promiscuous sexual revolution of the 60s is giving away a new sexual revolution led by a young generation who stands for moral purity. Now, like I say, we don't hear about that much. Now, I'm going to throw this at you churches. Pastors, this is something that you need to be talking about in your youth ministry. Let's watch the age, though. Let's get consent from parents. And parents, you need to be talking about sex at home anyway to your children. As I say, children are already exposed to any type of sexual, visual activity from magazines to videos to music by the age of 4. So you're already late. So you need to get on top of that, parents. It starts at home, not at school, not in sex education class, but at home. Home, church, school. These are things that we should be talking about anyway. Okay? Every individual is created to be unique. Every individual, God created every individual to be unique. Every person will respond to events and information in different ways. In many different ways, we will respond to events in many different ways. We all have emotions, we all have thoughts, and the power of our own will. God gave us free will. He gave us choices. Whichever choice you make, you got to deal with that. If you make the right choice, you'll be blessed. You make the wrong choice, you got to deal with the consequences. Okay? Now, brain research confirms from scientific brain research and from the way God created us, male and females, we think differently. Our brain waves are different. Those saying men are from Mars, women are from Venus, yeah, think about it. Okay? Now, go back to Keith. Keith experienced dreams and temptations that are especially common to men because men are strongly motivated by sight. We're motivated by sight. We're looking for the Coke bottle shape, that beautiful girl at the pool, the girl with the tight jeans on, the girl with that tight dress on, with that split up the back, them beautiful legs, long hair, beautiful eyes, that beautiful skin complexion, whether it's dark or light skin. Bam, that's what we own. We don't even know nothing about the heart. All we see is the visual. Now, none of that matters because you can take a woman that may not have all of that shape and she got a great heart. Sometimes you can get a woman that have all of that and their heart is tore up from the floor up. And they go for men too. Women look for men with the beautiful, kind of curly, wavy hair, brown eyes, six-pack. Oh, he built, he got muscles, he got thick. Ooh, girl, he fine and all this here. But he may look good on the outside, but he tore up from the floor up on the inside because his heart is tore up. Okay? Men want so badly to have a beautiful woman that the temptation is sometimes almost overwhelming. Okay, women on the other hand have more on their minds. As a result, they generally talk more than men and usually are motivated by the words that we speak than sight. You got some brothers out here can throw some lines on some women and they just melt. And a lot of times their hearts get deceived because you're not standing up to who you say you are and what you say that you can do. Your actions is not meeting up there. The most powerful words that you can tell a woman, and these are 3. I love you. Those are powerful, other than the word no. Once you tell a woman that, you better be ready, buddy. You better be ready to perform your actions because she want to see them. Okay? Your word's going to stand up to what you say that you can do in all this here. Okay? Women can become deceived by a sweet talking man even when his actions don't measure up to his words. Men can be deceived by the beauty of a woman even when they know she is lying to them. Because you got some beautiful women out here, boy, they can say some sweet things. You watching those lips, that lipstick, and those eyes are just working that hair, and they twirling that hair and going, and you just mesmerized. You just looking at the beauty. And once you get in that door, you're going to come to find out that door ain't what it was. Oh, man, that heart is messed up. Life is turned upside down. And, boy, you trying to figure out how you can get out of it. Well, you better talk to God about that. Men and women are created to bring different purposes and roles to life, especially in a marriage relationship. The differences cause two of them to complement each other, bringing balance and blessings to the family. So we are to complement each other. I am to complement my wife. She is to complement me. She is my completer. She is a person by my side. My wife should never be in front of me. She should be by my side. The only time she should be behind you is when you're protecting her. Now, you got that, men? The woman, God didn't design for the woman to be the head. But a lot of women have had to take the head role because we have so many weak men. God designed this woman from your side to be by your side, to be your completer. The woman is not your squaw to walk behind you every time you walk. She is behind you for you to protect her. Anytime a woman is in front of a man, I have a problem with that. Somebody's not following what God said. And I'm not talking about you dominate her. I'm talking about you have dominion and you sit there and you talk to her and let her know that she is just an equal part of life as you. She is your completer, because without her, your life is not complete. Okay? In the beginning of human history, God created man in his image and for his glory. In the beginning of human history, God created man in his image and for his glory. The Bible says that Adam was alone. Being alone can be a blessing, but being lonely is never a blessing. It's never a blessing to be lonely. Okay? Now, let's keep on going. Living in the Garden of Eden, Adam enjoyed friendship with God. He had a relationship with God, but he wasn't a peer to God, because God has no peers. You're not, you ain't gonna never be a peer to God. Adam found himself without anyone like himself to love. Okay, so what happened? God put Adam into a deep sleep, and he removed a spiritual rib from him, and he perfected and formed a counterpart for him, and he called her woman, and her name was Eve, the life giver. Okay, God did not create Eve from the dust of the earth, because he had already put his characteristics and image into Adam. Let's keep going with that, because people got some crazy ways of thinking about things here. If God had made a new creation from anything other than what was already in Adam, he would have created an inferior being. Instead, he took part of Adam and created a living being that was similar to and equal to Adam. The rib God used to make the woman was a symbolic, spiritual rib of certain qualities he took away from Adam to put in Eve. These qualities that God placed in the woman are those things we know now considered to be the woman's feminine nature. God separated this. Now, I have a problem with this when people talking about, well, God took woman from the rib, and this is why that I am this way, and this is why I feel that I'm feel the way that I feel in this alternate lifestyle that I'm living, and I was born that. No, you wasn't. God didn't make no mistakes like that. God created male, female, man and woman, case closed. God has in his nature all the characteristics we see in both men and women. Only God. God is perfectly balanced in being a watcher and a listener, a nurturer, a provider, the masculine and the feminine. Now, in spirit, because people want to twist this up and say, well, God, he did, and that's why I feel the way I feel. And a man talking about I feel like a woman, and a woman talking about I feel like a man, and you all screwed up in the head. Those are evil demon spirits talking to you. God have separated all of this. When a man and woman marry, guess what? In their marriage, two become what? One in flesh. You're still two individuals, but one in flesh. They are united in one flesh. This represents bringing back together the godly characteristics that were first placed in Adam, then separated into male and female. You got that? This is the way God designed it. Man is trying to design something else in his way of thinking. Those are evil spirits that man is trying to put into your head that, oh, I was born that way. No, you was not. And I'll say it again and I'll stick to it. Woman was created from man. Ever since man has come from woman in procreation, God balance and perfections are evident. They're evident. So, let's not get this screwed up. Let's not get this all messed up. God created woman from man, from a spiritual rib, as a symbolic to let you know this woman is your completer. She's by your side. Yes, we are equal, but God, we have different characteristics going on here. Women can have children, men can't. Men go by what they see, women go by what they hear. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all apply it to your life and take this seriously, because I enjoy doing this, and I love you, and may God bless you.